Hi, I'm Laura Shaw, Head of Digital Trading for Hiscox UK, part of the Hiscox Group, who employ over 3,000 people globally, and this is My Duvet Flip.
So you've been at Hiscox for 26 years and had 12 different jobs.
First job was a trainee underwriter, and then I started to put my hand up for opportunities. The business doesn't stand still, and that motivates me to not stand still.
That's hard to find, isn't it, in a lot of organisations, and you found it.
And find the one with the people that fit you best.
Do you love change?
Change is a journey. Worry less about the end of the change and think more about each step of the change.
What's your duvet flip? What gets you out of bed in the morning to flip the duvet every day?
Hi, I'm Laura Shaw, Head of Digital Trading for Hiscox UK. I'm really looking forward to it. I've never done a podcast before. I'm excited about meeting Jack and having the opportunity to talk about how we bring great talent into the insurance industry. It's okay to stay at a company a long time as long as you keep your career moving. I've not met Jack before, but I've watched a number of your podcasts. Hi Jack, ready to start?
So welcome to My Duvet Flip, how are we?
Thank you Jack, I'm really good.
So this conversation is going to be a roller coaster because I want to go from where you first started to what you do now and how you've immersed yourself in the industry of insurance for 26 years. So I want to start here. First paying job, what did that teach you about life?
First job, like many people, in a shop. Very first job, WH Smith, Saturday girl, lasted one day. Didn't really like it. Second job, local post office stroke corner shop, loved it. Difference was the people, and that's what it taught me about myself. If I enjoy what I'm doing and who I'm working with, I'll make the effort to go and I'll work hard.
I love that. I want to talk a little bit about lasting one day, because a lot of people will see that as you didn't stick it out, but actually it's so important to do things when you're a bit younger, to do things, or any age actually, to do things that you then learn that you don't like, so you do less of it. What made you last a day, and what's your advice to anyone who goes into a new job and they don't enjoy it on the first day? Is it to say bye?
I think it depends what the job is. So I really wanted a job, I wanted to earn some money, and that was the first available job that I found. Actually, what it told me is to go and try harder to look for more. So don't apply to one job, apply to lots of jobs and find the one with the people that fit you best.
What do you mean don't just apply for one job and apply for lots of jobs? What does that mean in the grand scheme of things when you're actually looking for work? Because I totally agree with you. You can't. There's a big chance that if you just apply for one job and you just put all your eggs in one basket on that one job, there's a good chance that you won't get it. But if you apply for several jobs or several hundred jobs, you then have more likely chance to get a job. Why should people be applying for more than one job?
So firstly, you can only tell so much about a job from a job advert. So if you apply for a job just based off what you read on a job advert on LinkedIn or through a recruiter, when you get there and you meet the people and you hear a bit more about the job, it might not be what you're looking for, and you might not have the skills they're looking for. And it's important to be able to be honest about that. And not feel like that's your only option. And I'd say that's when you're looking for a job within a company and with a new company. I think it's really important to keep talking to many people about what opportunities there are, jobs that don't exist yet that might happen in the future.
And did you know when you went into the post office that you wanted to get into financial services and the insurance industry? Did you even know what the industry was? Or did you just kind of come across it and then it was an opportunity?
Not at that stage. At that stage, I quite wanted the free sweets and chocolate that you got if you worked in a corner shop. But when I decided I wanted to work in insurance was when I came out of university and I went to a number of career fairs. And I really took some time to understand different industries, what the career paths available were, and the people I met in insurance were really compelling about the number of career routes there are in that industry.
And what was something that you were surprised about before you went into insurance that you didn't know before you went in, but you now know?
how many jobs there are, how many career paths there are.
So you've been at Hiscox for 26 years and had 12 different jobs. I want to run through some of those job opportunities that you've had the opportunity to do, and how have you been able to get like 12 opportunities at one company, because that takes talent to actually put your hand up, ask for help, go forward, work hard. Let's tell me some like, what was your first job, and then how did that lead into the next one? Because I want to kind of break it down to how you got to where you are today.
So my first job was a trainee underwriter, so quite a traditional career path in insurance, so assessing the risk on behalf of the insurance company. And how I got that job was being really honest about what I knew and didn't know from completing a graduate scheme. And then from there, I moved up through initially quite a traditional promotion path, from trainee to an underwriter to a senior underwriter. And then I started to put my hand up for opportunities. So Hiscox were growing as a business. We were opening new locations. So one change I made was to move to a new office location. So out of the city and into our Colchester branch. And that opened up a new geography, new clients to work with, and new opportunities.
And when you did that, did you ever think to yourself, am I leaving anything behind? Because there's these things, isn't it? You've got your team, you're in the city, you get a little bit, you get comfortable with, after being at a place, you get comfortable saying, okay, I've been here for a bit of time, I know my way around the kitchen, I know how the business operates, and to get a new opportunity, I'm now going to move to a new location. Did that all go into your mind? And did you ever get the imposter syndrome to think, oh, should I do this? Is this the right thing? And what's your advice to people who may be in the same situation? Absolutely.
So there's always an element of risk, as well as an element of excitement about trying something new. And moving to a new startup location had an element of that. I would say that happened more later in my career when I moved into a project environment. So a sort of program environment that I'd not worked in previously.
And what was the skills? What's the things that you had to have to skill yourself on from the city job to, you said it was Colchester, to the Colchester job? Was there anything that you had to unlearn or anything? Because working in the city to working in Colchester, I'm from Essex myself, is different. But what was some of the things that you had to kind of unlearn, upskill on? And what's your advice to young people when it comes to long life learning?
So I think in that situation, it was the really simple things, such as spend time getting to know people in the business and in the area, and time management. So it takes longer to go out and see your clients across a geography than it does in the city.
Absolutely.
So make the time to go and see people in person, and you will learn a lot from that.
And what's some of the things you learn from meeting people in person? Because I totally agree with you, Laura. Like, there's nothing more than getting together face to face with people, and because you know what, some tones of emails can come across wrong. Just the way that they are as a human, you have a better relationship with them. But what's some of the things that taught early on that made you more confident in meeting clients and stuff?
Being able to ask the open questions and get to know people outside their job brings so much to how you can then work together. You understand, their background, their family, their own motivations, what brings them to work, and then you can find common ground.
Have you ever had a situation where you've gone and met someone, whether it's a colleague, whether it's a client, and it's kind of gone wrong? And how did you kind of like bring it back onto road track? Whether it's like the train, you're meeting this important client, the train broke down. How do you deal with a situation like that?
We've all had them, haven't we?
Well, a lot of people had them yesterday as well. Like everywhere, you're totally right. We all have them all the time. But like, what do you do in that situation? How do you actually professionally manage that?
My best advice is to be honest. So the worst thing to do would be to try and cover it up or pretend something else happened. If you got the wrong train or you got lost, just admit what happened and look to either rearrange or continue if you can.
So ask them, are you happy that we push this back, or would you like us to rearrange?
But start by being really honest about what happened, but also make sure you're organised. Always try and turn up early.
Have you always been honest in your job? Because I go onto big stages and I think sometimes, why am I even here? When are they gonna figure me out? Like, how you built the confidence to actually in the workplace go, this is who I am, this is what I care about, these are my skills, here's where I don't feel comfortable on, and this is me. Because it's hard to be your authentic self in the workplace sometimes. How have you found it where you can be your authentic self, and you're at the stage now where what you see is what you get, and I'm going to do my best job as I can? But how do you get to that stage? Is it time? Is it experience? Is it a mix of both? Is it people around you, the culture? How do you get there?
It's a great question. I think, of course, it's a mix of all of those things. For me, it's the people around you. So surround yourself with a great team and great people who help you be yourself, and be honest when you don't know, and be honest when you do know, and confident in your own ability.
And do you think that it's the people that's kept you at Hiscox for 26 years?
It has to be, doesn't it? And that's both the people who've also been at Hiscox for a long time and the great people who've joined. And I think you need both of those things to stay in a business for a long time, because you need to learn from the outside in.
And what about if you're working with someone really well and then they leave the business? Like, how do you then cope with that? Because it happens, we've had it time and time again, where one of our community, one of our audiences will come to us and say, I'm working with a really good friend, they've left the business, should I?
I think the great thing about working in a industry rather than just within an individual business is people might leave your business, but they rarely leave the industry. So you will still work with them or alongside them. So they might have been your colleague and they're now your client, or vice versa. And so you can keep those relationships going and actually strengthen them when people leave the business sometimes.
I love that. People may leave the company, but there's a good chance that they won't leave the industry. And what they say, the world's quite small, right?
Yeah.
Especially when you're in industry and there might be an opportunity at the other company, or that person may do a 360 and turn back round, right, and come later back in.
We have that a lot. Boomerang stuff.
Boomerangs. So I want to talk a little bit about your current job, and then we're going to go into the world of technology, AI. But what do you currently do in your current job, and why is it needed in an organisation?
Great. I've been hoping to talk about my current job. So my job and my team, our job is to bring technology into how we trade with our brokers to drive more growth into our business. So our job is to be business people and play a conduit between technology and the business teams. So we look at how do we work and where are we doing manual processes or admin processes which could be digitised. And that might be through building insurance products on websites, that might be through bringing AI into how we work in our business processes.
You use the word AI. Let's go there.
Well, we have to, don't we?
Yeah, we have to. Tell me a little bit about your vision, how you see AI working now, in the future, and why it gets you excited.
Everyone's excited about AI. You can't go to an insurance conference or open up LinkedIn without talking about AI. Why I'm excited about it is it will make our job more fun. So we approach AI in two ways at Hiscox. First, we give people the tools to use AI in their everyday tasks, and we let them decide how they want to use it. So our employees, I would say particularly the younger employees, are really comfortable using AI. So if they get a new inquiry on their desk or a task, they will go and see if AI can help them do that task quicker and easier, just as a natural first step. And we'd encourage that. That will help everyone have a more effective work time. The other way we'll use AI is much more structured within our business processes. So how can we take tasks which are manual today and use AI to make those tasks both digital and add value to the tasks? Tell us more about our customers. So at Hiscox, we really centre around who our customers are. We say we see the people behind our policy.
AI can give you a superpower if you're willing to embrace it. Like, I am one of the best people now at writing emails, and I'm dyslexic. And I mean, the spelling mistakes, the grammar, and everything that I used to get, now it's just like, wow, you can speak really good, and you can type really good words. And it's great. It's the thing, isn't it? It's like, if you embrace the AI and don't shy away from it, it can really help you in terms of your job. But to embrace AI, what skills do you need? There's this phrase people are using at the moment, like a prompt engineer. But what do you really need to understand to actually use AI efficiently?
I think you have to have a really questioning nature, be able to ask good questions and give clear prompts to the AI tool. Be really clear about what you want it to do for you. And the clearer you can be, the better outcome you will get. The other thing, I think, is to be really honest about where you're using AI. So don't try to hide it and pretend that you wrote those meeting notes or you prepared that presentation. Actually embrace that AI supported you and learn from what it did well and what it could do better.
I like that. Embrace that AI supported you. I use AI in my presentations. I probably should start having a little word at the end that says AI supported me with this because I'm dyslexic. Wouldn't that be really cool? Because that would actually bring out personality more, right?
Yeah. We don't all want to look the same because AI has produced the same outcome.
And for someone who is inspired to get a job like you in the future, what skills do they need? Like, what would you say is your top 3 skills? And I know you've got a lot of skills over 26 years of being in the industry, but what are 3 things that if you was hiring a young person to join your team right now, what skills would you be asking them to have?
So problem solving goes top of the list. And I always look for that in people who join our team. So an inquiring nature, want to understand what the problem is, want to be involved in finding a solution. I'd say digital is becoming an ever-increasing skill set, and that's being able to work with digital teams as well as having digital skill sets yourself. And then people skills. So whether that be people leadership or whether that be communication skills.
And what would you say is the top secrets to having a successful career in insurance?
Navigating around different opportunities. So understanding what you're good at and what you enjoy and finding opportunities in the industry to do that. So there are jobs that exist now that didn't exist 12 months ago, 2 years ago, and there'll be jobs coming up in the future that don't exist today. There's an opportunity in this industry to create those roles for yourself.
That's exciting, right?
It's really exciting.
Is that what gets you out of bed? And we're going to ask that question at the end, but that must be one of the motivators. Working with really good people, working on really interesting projects, and having the opportunity to shape the future, not just your team, not just the organisation, but the whole industry and the people that use the service and products, right?
Absolutely. The industry looks a lot different to 20 years ago, and it's really exciting how it's going to look in the future.
Every industry says young people should join our industry because it's the best industry ever. But why insurance? Why should young people come and join insurance?
I hope it's easy to access. I think the insurance industry is making real efforts to engage with school leavers, and early careers to open up the doors to what is a great industry, and then offering really varied career paths once inside the industry. We also have the professional qualifications, which help people to progress.
So you can get a professional cook in the industry.
Absolutely.
And is that for anyone? Is that whether you're on an apprenticeship, or is that more what is the kind of...
Yeah, I mean, at Hiscox, we just look for a desire to learn. Yeah, and we believe the professional qualifications help our staff to do a great job.
If you was joining Hiscox again for first day, what would you do on your first day? What is, like, anyone who's tuning in who may think, you know what, I actually want to go and apply, or anyone who's starting their first day or in their first week, what would your advice be to them?
Ask questions and don't worry if you don't understand. We've got an industry, as many, that's full of acronyms and ways of doing things. And the most important thing is to ask, well, why? Why do we do it like that? And have ideas about how we can do it better.
And what would you say is one thing about the organisation that's made you stay for 26 years in terms of culture? Like, why are you still turning up so happily and engaged and excited over 26 years? That tells a lot about the organisation. It's been through, obviously, you said you started there when it was a small business, now it's a big business, and there's been 12 different careers within the 26 years. There's loads of learning, but like, why do you keep turning up?
Two things, not one, just two things.
Give me two.
So the first is the growth culture, the ambition to grow. The business doesn't stand still, and that motivates me to not stand still. And the second has to be the people.
So the opportunity to grow and the people is why you've stayed for 26 years. That's hard to find, isn't it, in a lot of organisations, and you found it.
Yeah.
Which is brilliant. And if you could sum up your career in one word, what would it be?
Change.
Change. And is that because the industry's changing, your career's always...
Everything's changing.
And what's your advice to people who are surrounded by change, but they may not always embrace it? Because everyone says they love change, right?
Well, I think most people hate change.
Yeah. Everyone says it publicly, but behind the scenes, they actually don't like it, and they get stress and anxiety and overwhelmed and everything in between. That's what I've noticed is, oh yeah, I'm up for change. And then when change comes, why are we changing? So what's your advice to anyone who doesn't, like, you clearly love change, because, do you love change? You've changed 12 times.
I do. My advice is change is a journey, and understand it at each stage. So worry less about the end of the change and think more about each step of the change and go on the journey.
So don't worry about the end of the change, focus on the step of the change and understand it.
Yeah.
That's brilliant advice. We've never had that on the show. That's brilliant. Are you ready for my final question?
Yeah, I think so.
Are you sure? Ready? What's your duvet flip? What gets you out of bed in the morning to flip the duvet every day?
The future. Bringing new people into the industry, including my daughter who's just joined the insurance industry, and thinking about how the industry will grow as technology changes.
So it's not Netflix and dinner, it's insurance and dinner in your household, isn't it?
Fortunately.
No, it's great, because you've obviously been in the industry, and now the next generation, your daughter's in the industry. It's just fantastic to see. And the future is exciting if you're willing to run towards it, right?
Yes.
And embrace it. And understand change, right?
Absolutely.
I just want to say thank you for your time, your energy, your kindness, for being so just honest and sharing your experience. So thank you so much.
No, thank you. Thank you for some great questions.
And there we are. How'd you find it?
Yeah, it was all right.
You like it?
Yeah. You didn't do anything that was in my notebook, but that's okay.
No, but you know the truth? No one ever does.
Yeah. Did you? Really excited to build my portfolio.
Yeah.
There he is.
I've done a few for the Hiscox Spring.